What's going on, everyone? I've got a couple goals for today. One, getting this almost all the way done. I'm going to go back in, actually change out the fan, add some lighting, make sure everything's good on the inside. We need to get our hard drive covered up, as well as moved slightly lower by changing the bracket on the fan to the bottom side instead of the top. We're going to swap it out for a UV reactive fan. We're going to go for a blue glow. I was trying really hard to incorporate like red on this side to symbolize like the red strikes for impounded vehicles. I think it's just going to be best to match it to the rest of it, which is mostly black and blue. Plus, this fan here I think actually kind of looks just like the blue from the Ghost Case parts that we're using. And instead of having, blue LEDs on the inside, we're just going to have a hidden UV LED strip. This fan glows under UV light, kind of a bluish purple, and this fan glows really nicely under UV light. So that's what we're going to go for, glowing through here instead of actual lighting. I think I still got one more day on our all-white RF board to show up. But we can get the whole inside fully done so it's ready to slap this on, put the shell on, and have this ready for the 20th anniversary of Need for Speed Most Wanted. I've got one more thing that I'm still a little stressed about trying out, but I did mess with one of these markers on just like a scrap piece of paper, and I was pretty surprised it writes pretty well, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about my handwriting, especially on the back side of this metal frame, where it's definitely on a smooth surface, but that is okay because the blacklist is written on a random wall in what looks like chalk inside the actual game, so hopefully it doesn't have to look perfect. I also want to see if I can get this completely done and ready for sale as well. If you are a member and saw in the last membership video, we assembled this, but there's a few issues I need to address, and I also tried putting some of the mirror film in there. I don't like it. Go ahead, pop this off, and we need to start removing some stuff, really just the hard drive and this fan. We can leave the other stuff in there. But I have to write on the bottom side of this, so I'm going to get out as much as we can just so I can flip this upside down without anything falling out. Alright, we're getting ready to draw on the back of this. There's no going back. It's a permanent paint marker. This is kind of our template, even though it's actually pretty hard to read, so I'll probably just have to pull up an image. But I'm putting some tape along the left side so I can make sure to even things out space-wise. So I can space things out evenly. There we go, I did it. The one thing I was still considering was to only go from 15 to 2 on the back side here, and then on the very bottom put, number 1, Razor, BMW, GTR, and because this is black and the vent going over it is black and the marker is white, you'll definitely be able to see it. Now, obviously, if it's standing upright or even laying down and you're not really looking for it, it's going to be a cool little thing to notice if you look closer. You'll look at it from the side and you'll pretty easily be able to read Razor across the bottom. So that's still my plan there. Obviously, we'll have more space on this one. It's a little more square, I guess. This one's not as much. And this one has quite a few more holes on the back side. This one just has a couple, but it does still have a lot of little, bumps and stuff. Testing it out on this because it's a similar surface and it's also painted with a very similar paint. So I just want to see how the paint reacts to it. I did this probably about 5 minutes ago. I'm going to sacrifice my finger and see if that comes off, and it does not. Yeah, that's actually really nice. Okay, I'll show the back side in just a second, but I have the bottom taken care of. This is like way over here. You can read it through there. But once it's all the way up against there, it's kind of hard to see. Actually, on camera, it's not too bad. But I feel like it's still a little more like hidden than I would like. My backup plan is to literally put a window in the bottom vent. I've never seen that done before. Now technically this, we have airflow here and here. So if we actually put plexiglass in the middle, that's going to sort of block this side, but I'm not really worried about it because we've obviously got a fan here with a hole on top. We've got another large fan here. We've got plenty of intake happening. The idea is that you're on blacklist number 1. And I always pictured the numbers all being circled, but they actually aren't. When it has the little clip, like the video clip for the new blacklist member, it shows the blacklist board, it circles the one you're about to face. and it puts a line through the previous one. But once you get to the next blacklist, all the circles previously are gone, and it's just circling the new one. So anyway, I put the circle around this one because the idea is that we're on this guy. Now, I did not put the line through all the ones on the back. I'm debating if we should or not, and I'll show you that now, and you guys let me know. Okay, we're upside down. Look at that. This paint is great. Nothing. I did the best I possibly could to recreate the handwriting that's on there, which is just poor handwriting, and honestly, it's still slightly better than mine, I think. But there's a lot of mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters, and everything's kind of not perfectly straight. It's a little wavy, things are off-centered. I am proud of the numbers here. I mean, the way it kind of goes to the side, goes back this way, kind of zigzags around, especially around 11 and 12. I think that's pretty good, especially the font. But what do you guys think? The plan was to put lines through them if they were terrible, but I don't think they're terrible. I think it's pretty good. Just don't know if it's going to look more like iconic if all of these have a line through them, symbolizing, hey, where's blacklist number 1? Well, you beat all these. You are now on blacklist number 1. Now, another thing is the lighting. Like on Vader, I had the strip right here. And obviously, if we do that here, it's going to cut off the end of all this stuff. The first version of Vader, we had the strip up at the top. I might do that, even though I know it's probably not going to make the whole thing light up. But I also think LED isn't going to be necessary, even with this turned off. You can very clearly see it because of the contrast. Now, real quick, I wanted to show under the UV light just how similar this and this plastic are. They honestly might be exactly the same type of plastic. I also wanted to see if the white glowed under UV light, but let's see. UV blue is just the coolest. But yeah, I'm glad I'm swapping out the fans. This is gonna just match perfectly. A little further along, I got this fan in. I put it as far back as I could, unlike before, and that's to hopefully get it as centered as possible with the X cutout on the top shell. Need to go ahead, splice this into where this fan is spliced into, which has the 3-pin on one side. We've got 2 3-pin connectors right here, one for this fan, and the other one will be for this, which also has 2 extra sets of wires coming off of it. We need one for sure for the UV LED strip. I guess we could use the other one for another LED. Oh yeah, actually we want to have the other one for the bright white LED strip. And we need to now have an actual window to cover our DVD drive slot, which I have a piece of plexiglass that's pretty much already perfect. It just needs to be cut to length. But height-wise, it's pretty much perfect. Gonna sit right in here. We'll probably have it slightly behind on both sides, and that's just gonna block that off. And we'll go ahead and probably sand this with like 1000, so it's not fully clear. It's kind of opaque, so you don't really see what's going on in there until things are lit up. Furthermore, and I already forgot about this before installing this, it blows my mind that we have a fully UV fan that has blue LEDs in it. Why wouldn't you put UV LEDs in it? So I got this thing set on top. Faceplate is just propped up against the front, just to give it a better idea of what it's going to look like. I did disconnect the LEDs on the bottom of the fan, so just this one and this one. The top 2 are still in. I had the UV strip going all the way around here. I actually slid it up here, so it starts here, goes up and across. So it's like literally right below this window, which I did get sanded. Put Most Wanted on there. And looking at the back, I like how it is, but I feel like putting the lines through all the names is actually going to make it more recognizable and maybe hide some of my mistakes. And lastly, our fans are ramping up. It's not shutting off or anything, but I don't know, I feel like I might have tightened down some of the screws too much. They're definitely, none of them are loose on that X clamp, but it definitely didn't do it before when we had any other heatsink on the GPU, so that aluminum one could just be bent. I'm a little worried I'll have to just swap that out, and if I do, I'll probably put the copper one back on there, even though that extra extension piece doesn't necessarily fit under this fan, but we could just move this fan as high up as possible, and I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I think that looks way better. Stuff glowing from UV just looks way better than regular LEDs. Don't know about the LED back here. Like I said, I put it in the same spot even though it kind of blocks some of the wording back there. But I don't know, I still really like it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think on this build. Now, there is still a couple things I wanted to add to this side, and this is I completely didn't even think about a controller for this build, which is a problem. If I'm going to have to paint something, that's going to have to happen very soon. Or if, I also thought about getting the clear blue shell at least. Now this has blue LEDs across and red the other way. Last idea for this side is to add some quotes. You know, maybe like next to the X. Like, I want quotes from probably Cross, Sergeant Cross, where he says either, he puts the pinstripe on the car and says, nice pinstripe. I kind of want to put, like, impounded across here, and then say, like, everyone with a question mark, and then on this side, everyone with an exclamation. If you know, you know. And finally, we do have the 250 gigabyte hard drive in here now instead of the 120. There's nothing on it whatsoever, so I do still have to set that up as well. And I do think I'm just going to put a little piece of black plastic over that tiny spot on the hard drive that you see right there. So that's it. I better figure out the controller ASAP, and I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the window in that bottom vent. I know you can't see it at all right now. I don't want to tilt it over while it's running. But yeah, just so you can clearly see Razer when the system is on its side. We are not getting to the Camaro build today. We'll have to finish that up tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the link in the description for the membership. We do have another giveaway coming at the end of this month of another full Xbox 360. Those darn fans. Like I said, it's not shutting off or anything, it's just cranking the fans up. So I think that heatsink is bent a little bit or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, see you guys in the next video.